So that is morning posing done, and I am 3 days out. So we're at a point now where we've done with fat loss. Fat loss is finished. This is me at my flattest. This is me first thing in the morning. I've literally just had 700 mils of water and a coffee, and head straight to the gym in the urinals. It's my favourite place to be in the morning. And yeah, just hit a round of posing. So did some on my phone, which I'll send across to Cuba and Ben, and then Gaz took some video as well for you guys to have a little bit of a look and see as to how I'm looking exactly at 3 days out. I hit my lowest body weight this morning of 161 pounds. Started this prep at 196 pounds, so that puts me pretty much 35 pounds down in body weight over the course of this prep, which is in its 31st week. 31 weeks, 35 pounds. It's a pretty solid sort of setup for me. I wouldn't have wanted to lose much quicker than that, and I wouldn't have wanted to lose much slower either. Both have their pros and cons, but I'm as happy as I can be, I think, with regards to the look and with regards to what I've achieved. I think that always I would like more, and I'd like to have more muscle. I'd like to have better conditioning in some areas. You know, like I'd like to have glutes like Ben Howard's or Brian Whitaker's, but I know that at 24 years of age, I'm not quite there yet in terms of maturity, and to get that level of conditioning, so like top end pro level natural bodybuilding, I've got to have a little bit more maturity. So I think by the time I'm 26, 27, I'll be able to get that lean without sacrificing so much of my other areas, because what me and Cuba have done really well is hold on to my muscle in my upper body a lot better than I ever have done before. And hopefully you'll see after today, so we've got push later, you'll see some post-workout posing, and you'll see the difference that it makes just me having a pump and having blood volume, having some food in, some fluid in. So we'll get to see that later, but like I said, lowest body weight prep. We're feeding up today, we're eating up, so 500 grams of carbs. And we're going in pretty cautious because I've got to weigh under 165 pounds in body weight on the show day at 3 p.m. So I can't afford to be above that weight, otherwise I'll dip into a category where I'll be like the lightest guy in it. I'd rather be the heaviest guy right at the top end of the category than the lightest guy and be compared to people that are just a lot bigger than me in general. So the goal obviously is to win, so I just need to put myself in the best situation to be able to do that. So being 165 pound and under on that day is an absolute non-negotiable. I don't care what I have to do to be able to do that, but I will set that up. But obviously being 161 pounds in the morning, I was 162.2 basically with one meal left yesterday. So I know that I can be under 165 pounds. Just got to be smart over the next days. I can't really smash a huge amount of carbohydrate and spill and look softer. One, because obviously that's not the goal, but two, I've got to really know where my body weight's at over the next few days for that Sunday weigh-in. But rest of my morning, I'll go and hit a couple of practices of my routine upstairs. Once I'm done with that, I will then get back to anyone that has checked in, that my competitors, and give them a voice note, let them know what their setup for their day is. Most of them are hitting their first carb up day today as well. So we've got Mike, Finn, David and Connor all competing, 3 juniors and 1 masters. Unfortunately they're going to be in the morning show, which is separate to me, but it is what it is, we can't change that. Do some steps, but steps are at 8k today, so lowered down from a usual 10k training day, so I've got to make sure that I don't do too many. And I'm just feeling excited. The last few days have been very draggy, but now I can see like we're really close, so I'm just feeling excited. Especially because now we've got Gaz here and I can share the rest of the days with you. And yeah, we might get a haircut later on as well, freshen up the sides. As much as you don't even see me with my hat off. I will have to take the hat off on stage, I believe. So yeah, let's go and get back to some clients, go and get some steps done. We'll speak in a bit.
Feedback, because I do steps at work as well. I do a few days of work at golf in the gym as well, because I'm cold as well.
Hey Mike, good morning mate, so thank you very much for the check-in. I hope you're all good. And these are your best shots to date. And genuinely mate, like the last few days, your lower body's come in a lot. So obviously had a very low weigh this morning, which is perfect timing because we're obviously going to start the high days today. So getting you sort of through this final fat loss phase has been extremely productive. Alright guys, so just done some of my check-ins this morning and just thought I'd take you through a little bit as to some of the final things that we're doing with my guys that are competing this weekend. So in reality, the job is pretty much done with all of them. It was done for some of them a couple of weeks back. We've got the BNBF show, which is another natural federation, good 3 weeks after the UKDFBA Finals. So as a result, some of my guys will actually be reverse dieting from this weekend into the next show. So in terms of peak weeks, I've been talking to these guys, these 4 guys that are competing every day for the last 2 weeks. They've been checking in every single morning. So I know their physique's just like inside out by this point. I know exactly how they're gonna respond to pretty much everything that I do. Every single person that is competing this weekend has done a peak week or a trial load already. I know exactly what they're gonna eat in terms of food options. I know exactly when they're eating it. I think like through my years of coaching, what I've learned is that you can never be meticulous enough with this process, with this final week. Like the best thing you can do is understand your variables, keep them static, try and practice them, and then just on the week itself, rinse what you know. Like don't change anything massively. The meticulous aspect is the repetition of something you've already done. That's being meticulous. Like this is not cutting water, this is not cutting salt, this is not changing loads of different variables all at once. This is just simple stuff, but it yields the best results. Luckily for none of them have got a meet or weight category. So it's very simple to get them where they need to be. 3 of them are juniors, 1 of them masters, as we've already discussed. So super easy to find a look that we like, that's the right balance of fullness and condition, and then just get that look on stage. So that's what we've been doing the past couple of weeks with these guys. Very excited, and obviously you'll have seen already David. So he'll be in the junior category. We're Finn in the junior category and Connor in the junior category, and then Mike Boyle or Mick Boyle in the Masters, Grandmasters. So they'll all be on in the morning. So if you're watching this and you're looking forward to the stream, make sure you tune in for the morning segment to see these guys. They've all been putting in an immense amount of effort and work towards this. For Finn and for David, it's their first ever show. For Mike and for Connor, it is. Well, for Mike, for Mick, well, he's been competing for a long time. He was actually in Worlds with me in 2017. He wasn't competing, but he was there. And he's been a long-term competitor and supporter of the UKDFBA as well. So, gotta love Mick. And overall, I'm very excited to get him on stage. It is just a shame that I can't actually be there because they're only allowed 1 person in per competitor, so I'm not actually allowed to come in and watch my people on stage. So I'll be sat in my hotel room, chilling out in the morning, watching the live stream and making sure that they're all okay. On the Saturday, we will do some client check-ins in person in the hotel, so you'll get to see a little bit of up-close action with all of these guys, see the condition they're in, and see what you can actually achieve within natural bodybuilding, which is a lot more than you might expect, to be honest. So it's exciting times, and come along for the journey as always, and we will probably speak to you a little bit later in the day when we get some more bits. Alright guys, so we are back from the gym, and I'm just about to get a coffee down me and some more fluid and meal one of this sort of carb up, so to speak. So obviously a bit different to my normal meal one. Barely speak. You know when you've been prepping for a while and you literally cannot speak properly. So I'm really sorry if I sound like silly in any of these clips, but I'm really struggling, and especially in the morning I really struggle to get my words out. Like, I think it's because my body's like slowing down now. I can barely bloody speak properly. So what am I going to do now? Fluids. I've already had 2 lots of 700 mils of fluid. So like a lot of people just massively underhydrate, and I used to be like that as well. So to be fair, you're better off almost hyperhydrating a little bit, especially when you're on a high day. With carbohydrates, because carbohydrates will travel with fluids. You need water to transport carbohydrates, especially intramuscular. So having a slightly higher level of hydration status on a high day is going to be really important. So, but I'm going to keep my fluid normal because my fluid's actually very high. On a training day it's about 7 litres, on a rest day about 6. So I don't need to go any higher than that. But that will stay constant this whole week. That won't change. And just on show day, I'll drink a little bit less to avoid bloat, but we'll go through that a little bit more when we get to show day. And then, yeah, black coffee, morning sups, very, very basic, just omegas, vitamin C, and greens powder. And then I've just been using these natural, slight sort of water balance tablets, which are a natural diuretic. So basically they are, believe dandelion herb with another leaf extract, 2 natural extracts that you can potentially help pull a little bit more fluid from extracellular space to create a little bit of a drier look. Obviously I can't use any form of other diuretic that would be banned by WADA, so these are not banned by WADA, funnily enough. And I can potentially get a 1% benefit out of them. I haven't used them with all of my clients. They're actually recommended to me from Cuba, who uses them with a few of his natural clients. I believe he actually uses them himself as well. So I thought, why the hell not? You know, like if it's going to give me a 1% benefit, then why not try it out? So yeah, and you can use other things like MHP to expel. What is the other company? What's that other company that, you know, the purple branding? Project AD. Project AD, they did one as well. I've forgotten what it was called, but a lot of people use that to basically just pull water from extracellular space. And obviously when you're peaking as well, you want to pull as much fluid as you can intramuscular and carbohydrates intramuscular, and pull away fluid from extracellular space to create almost like a shrink wrap look. So if there's a small gain from doing little things like that, then I will take the gain. And meal number 1 is already prepped, something I did earlier. So we have, I'm gonna go, actually that's gonna be my post-workout one. I'm gonna go with this one. So I made cream of rice, made it pretty low volume, because I don't want to have too much food volume today. So this was just made last night. It's 100 grams of cream of rice and 40 grams of whey isolate, and I'm going to have 100 grams of raspberries on top of this as well, and some cinnamon. And that's going to be meal 1. So, like, I don't know weight wise how much it actually came out to, but it can't be a huge amount of weight. Like usually 100 grams of cream of rice will be like up to here, like the top of the tub with like water and volume. But purposely today I want to make sure that I don't have too much food volume, so keeping that on the down low. Take you through the other meals and speak to you in a bit. Just do this first pressure in our hand to Alright, so I cheated on Tony. I'm sorry, Tony. I'll be back. But I had to book in at Cutthroats here in Rotherham today just because it's a training day, so I couldn't travel to Barnsley. Obviously, when I move further out away from Rotherham, I will go back to Tony. But today, for efficiency, we went there. I don't know the guy's name that actually cut my hair. Obviously, you'll see it on show day, but got the hat back on now. But spent like what 30 minutes doing a skin fade. So I gave him a little bit of a tip. But if you're in Rotherham and you're looking for a haircut, Cutthroats is where you need to go. Of course, we've got meal 2, guys, after haircut. Chicken, rice, a little bit of veg. So each of these meals are about 100 carbs each. There's a little bit less in this one, and obviously the cream of rice being 100 grams of cream of rice, because I am placing a little bit more carbohydrates around training. So I believe my pre-meal is about 120 carb, 25 grams of carbs intra, and then 125 carb post. And I'm just doing those through rice cakes so that I can manipulate the rice cakes up or down based on what I need tomorrow, whether it's 500 again, whether it's 400, whatever. So yeah, and of course sodium and potassium as normal, so a couple of grams of low salt, a couple of grams of pink Himalayan rock salt on this meal. Alright guys, so we're at Starbucks. Last meal was the chicken and rice, same again now, pre-workout. The only addition is 3 caramel rice cakes. Alright, and we've also got 20 grams of dark chocolate. My fats are pretty much traced today, but I've added this just to make sure that I don't go a little bit hyper during training. I have got my intra, of course, but with a higher carbohydrate pre-workout meal, we may see some slight shift in blood glucose as a result and create reactive hypoglycemia, which will make me feel pretty horrendous during training. So I want to avoid that, so adding some fats to this meal. And I'll also add about 10 grams of fats to my last meal as well, pre-bed. But other than that, meals are pretty simple, pretty much just carbs and protein. So yeah, we will film an edit for the push session today, so we'll roll into that. But it's going to be just rock bottom volume for me today. Make sure that I'm super recovered and not creating too much muscle damage. I did say in my Instagram post how I'll be limiting eccentric loading. The reason behind this is just because your eccentrics will cause muscle damage. So if we can speed them up a little bit, spend a little bit less time there, then I'm going to feel fresher and as a result be able to pose better, be able to contract muscle groups better on stage, and also deliver muscle glycogen a little bit better as a result of not creating so much soreness. So that is the goal today. Cam's here, Loz is here, and Hannah's here as well. So we're all getting our pre's in, and we're ready for a good session. Cam, have you got anything to add, apart from the fact that you're struggling immensely with food?
Yeah, I'm like on the opposite end to AJ at the minute, so I feel like my struggles are nothing like his, and I'm just having to get through this peak week, innit?
It is still a struggle though.
Yeah.
Like, eating the food is almost just as hard, especially at Cam's size. Eating the food is such a task, and I think if you don't spend time there, you haven't really pushed the limits. It's just like at the end of, like right now, I'm at the end of a prep and the food's like been quite low and I've had to push really hard. That's essential for me to get into stage condition. It's essential for Cam to have to spend some time in a fucking pretty grim situation with high food to be able to build the amount of muscle he needs for next year, is it most likely?
Late next year. Yeah, so a long time eating a lot of food yet, but if it's needed, it's needed.
It will be worth it. Yeah. So, see you guys in a bit. good push session with Cam. Obviously Cuba's not with us at the moment, you will notice. It's sad, I miss him a lot, I miss Meg a lot, but it is what it is. Still got great people around me, which I'm very much appreciative of. They're both in quarantine, hence why they're not here. Post-workout meal, 100 grams of cream of rice, just like my normal. Reduction in fruit, so down from 200 grams to 100 grams again, just to reduce the food volume today. And 3 caramel rice cakes, so just bumping up the carbs. So I believe about 100 and, just check, and we're back. 116 grams of carbs in this meal. So I'm gonna eat this nice and slowly. I'm gonna try and chew it as much as I can chew it, because my Invisalign and my retainers hurt my teeth, so I can't really chew properly, which is a problem for digestion. So cream of rice is good because you can kind of like mush it up in your mouth and sort of. Sounds nice, that, doesn't it? What's that? Right. This is the meal. I'm gonna eat it. I was happy with the look post-workout. Looking forward to a fantastic evening. So we're just prepping up tomorrow's meals. I've already got the protein element of tomorrow ready, but I was waiting to take photos post-workout today just to speak to Cuba about what we think the plan is. But I'm going to prep for 500 grams of carbs again tomorrow. So again, like pretty moderate, to be fair. Like we could definitely get away with a little bit more. It's just mainly just managing the body weight side of things that we've got to do. So 300 grams of raw weight rice when you've been having like 100 grams, and on rest days 65, feels like you're cooking a lot in comparison. So, but not complaining. Good evening, guys. This is the final meal of the day. Chicken and rice. Wow. So yeah, another sort of very simple meal. And this meal itself will be another 80 grams of carbs, totaling 500 grams of carbs for today. Protein's actually been pretty normal today, just because of the trace amount of protein that's come in the carbohydrates. And vegetables have been a little bit lowered on what I'd normally have on a training day, just because again we're trying to manage that food volume side of things to make sure that everything sits super well. I have also shaved, so I'm now even colder than I once was. So the North Face jacket will definitely be coming out tomorrow. And I hope you've enjoyed this sort of first installment of these final few videos leading into the show. Tomorrow we will document the day in a little bit of a different fashion. We'll try and think of some different things to sort of walk you through. I sent some photos across to Cuba tonight, and seems to think that probably be doing another 500 grams of carbs tomorrow, so that is all prepped. Saturday's meals are all prepped because we're going to go to the hotel tomorrow night. Sunday's meals are all prepped as well. I'll talk you through those when we get to those days, so you have a little bit more of an explanation as to what's happening. I've got like a 32 litre plug-in fridge for all of us that are going up to Coventry, so we can keep all our meals cold. And we're dropping Barney off at the kennels tomorrow, so you can continue being walked, being fed, and being looked after, as he always is. Oh dear. Isn't he doing well? Put him on camera. He's sulking. He's in his cage for a reason. He will come out in a bit. Just because we've been all cooking all over the place, and he's a little bit excitable when there's people in here. So yeah, guys, hope you've enjoyed it, and I think that's about it for today, for day one. We will speak tomorrow, and hopefully it filled out a little bit in the morning, see where weight's at, make some decisions, and go from there. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, let's keep heading towards the show day.